Leveraging accounting software can be one of the best ways to help grow and scale a business. What exactly is accounting software? I'm going to talk about that here today. My name is Eric.Kimberling. I'm the CEO of Third Stage Consulting. We're an independent consulting firm that helps clients throughout the world on their digital transformation journeys. And when you're growing or scaling a small to mid-sized organization, finding and implementing the right accounting software can be one of the best ways to help you get to your business goals and objectives. There are a lot of different options in the marketplace as far as different types of accounting softwares and ERP systems. There's a lot of risks and considerations to take into account. So as you're thinking about your accounting software journey, these are the things that you should know about accounting software. First, it helps to understand at a basic fundamental level what exactly is accounting software. And when many organizations start their journeys as an organization, they track their financials in spreadsheets or other more fundamental, rudimentary types of technologies. And as they grow and scale, oftentimes they look to accounting software that can provide some of the capabilities that will help them grow and give them better visibility into how the business is performing at a financial level. So when you think about accounting software, it's going to include all of your traditional accounting and finance sorts of business processes. So things like your general ledger and setting up a chart of accounts and being able to track cost to the different cost categories within your P&L. That's a fundamental aspect of accounting software. You also have accounts payable, accounts receivable, those sorts of processes that are critical to any sort of accounting software. You also have invoicing and tracking purchase orders and things of that nature. You also have your business processes and workflows related to period end close. So at the end of every month and every quarter, every year, when you're closing out your books, you have workflows and processes in place that can be automated with accounting software to help you do that. And then finally, another component of accounting software that's important is the drill down ability. So if you're looking at a P&L, for example, and you want to drill down into different cost subcategories, or even get down to the transactional level on your revenue side of your general ledger, those are some of the things that are helpful to have within your accounting software. And ultimately, you want to identify the software that's going to best meet your needs and meet your requirements for your goals and objectives going forward. And I'm going to talk later in this video about specific software packages that you might consider as part of your accounting software journey. So when you're thinking about accounting software, you might think about standalone accounting systems like QuickBooks or Zoho or FreshBooks or Wave, any of those sort of standalone accounting-focused systems. But there's also another type of technology out there called ERP, or Enterprise Resource Planning. And a lot of organizations use ERP systems as their core financial and accounting software too. And most ERP systems are designed to do accounting and finance pretty well. But the difference with ERP versus accounting software is that ERP can also do other things to tie your business operations together. So for example, if you're a manufacturing or a distribution company, you're going to have inventory management, warehouse management, and things of that nature that will tie together to your accounting and finance software. So one of the things to keep in mind or to understand is that fundamental difference between accounting-focused systems that only do accounting that you would then potentially need to integrate to other systems that handle other parts of your operations as you grow and scale, versus ERP systems that have finance and accounting at their core, but they also can do other types of processes and operations when you add on certain modules within those systems. So having a vision and understanding of those two buckets and knowing which direction you're going as you're considering accounting software is very important. Now, a big consideration with accounting software is not just the processes and workflows and the tracking of costing and the tracking of revenue and different transactions within the system, but it's also the reports that come out of it. So what kind of reports do you need as far as slicing and dicing information in different ways to give you the reports and the visibility you need? And this is true not only for accountants and people within your finance and accounting group, but also within operations. What sorts of metrics and reports and business intelligence might your operational leaders need to see to understand how the business is performing? So when you're looking at accounting software, you not only want to look at the way it handles transactions and the controls that are underlying within the system, but also what are the outputs and how do the reports and the business intelligence tie together? That's all a key consideration as well. So I've provided a high-level overview of what accounting software is, but what are some of those leading accounting software vendors out there? Well, I mentioned before that there's two buckets. You have the accounting systems and you have the ERP systems. When we look at accounting software, you have some of the leaders in the space, especially for small and some mid-sized organizations, would be products like QuickBooks, FreshBooks. You also have Zoho, which is very common. Wave is another small company-focused accounting software. So there's a lot of different options out there, and you just want to make sure that you're looking at those sorts of systems, not just in terms of what you need today, but trying to cast your mind forward to, as the organization grows and as your needs become more complex, can that particular software handle it? And what oftentimes happens is organizations start off on accounting software, but then they find that they outgrow that initial system and need to expand to something more robust like an ERP system. So when we look at ERP systems, those are the systems, as I mentioned before, that can do accounting and finance, but they also do other things that might help tie together your operations throughout the entire organization. So some examples of some leading ERP systems that focus on or do accounting and finance very well would be systems like Sage, for example, Sage ERP. They have a number of different systems within their umbrella that do accounting very well. You also have Oracle NetSuite, which is very focused on the small and mid-market. So those two products are examples of ERP systems that might be good alternatives to a more myopically focused accounting software. So the thing to keep in mind with ERP systems is you can start off with the core finance and accounting modules and then add additional modules as you grow or as your needs evolve over time. So you don't necessarily need to bite off an entire ERP system at first. You can buy just the finance and accounting piece. So that can be a good way to think ahead and maybe plan for what sorts of broader technology capabilities outside of accounting and finance you might need longer term. And for more information on additional vendors that I haven't mentioned here, certainly check out other videos on my YouTube channel. I do a lot of reviews of different ERP systems and accounting software, but you can also download our annual digital transformation report, which includes a number of rankings and ratings of all different types of accounting and finance software, as well as ERP systems and customer relationship management systems and other sorts of technologies that might help your business. Now, the final thing to think about as you consider potential accounting and finance software for your business is going to be, how are you going to implement it? What's that implementation going to look like? And unfortunately, it's not quite as simple as throwing in a spreadsheet and turning on Microsoft Excel and opening it up and starting to track stuff. There's a lot more to it as far as understanding how the workflows work, how you set up a chart of accounts, or how you set up a general ledger, how accounts payable and accounts receivable types of processes flow, how you set up your actual reports and your business intelligence. All those things need to be designed and defined up front. So it's really important to define early on what your business processes and requirements are, and then get a realistic understanding of what it's going to take to implement the technology, but also what it's going to take to define your business processes in a way that fits the software, and also to train your people to understand how to use the software. So usually it's those two things, the things related to training and the people, as well as the operations and the business processes within accounting and finance. Those two things are more likely to increase the time and cost of your implementation, more so than the time and cost of pure technology. So as you're thinking about what this is going to look like in terms of your budget and your time and your implementation, just be sure you're having a realistic view of that, and you're considering the operational and organizational components as well as the technology side. So these are just a few things you need to know about accounting and finance software. I also encourage you to download our annual report that I mentioned before that includes a lot of best practices around how to implement accounting and ERP systems more effectively, some of the best practices around that, as well as the ratings and rankings of different technologies out there. So I hope you found this information useful and hope you have a great day.